The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Introducing from Atlantic City, New Jersey, weighing in at 210 pounds, your Italian hero, Joey Image!
All right, welcome to episode 5 of That Image Guy, and I'm your host. I'm That Image Guy. How is everybody? Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope everything is going well. Before we get started, I actually just want to talk really briefly about a new podcast that you all should be checking out and listening to and subscribing to. It's called Trivia Geeks. Every week, your host Sean and his two co-hosts, Carrie and Daryl, and of course their guests, tackle trivia challenges in the hopes of becoming the most trivial geeks on the internet. I'm going to be on Trivia Geeks in September, as well as a date yet to be determined in November. So check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Trivia Geeks Show or on Twitter at Trivia Geeks Show. Tell them I sent you. Check it out. It's a really fun show. We're doing, I believe I'm doing in September like a team show. Myself and a couple other people, I believe. Either teams of 2 or teams of 3. But anyway, it's a really fun show, really good stuff, all sorts of wacky trivia. So check them out again, facebook.com/Trivia Geeks Show or on Twitter at Trivia Geeks Show. So now, we all saw the Tough Enough finale tonight. I want to talk about it for a little bit. Right after that, I'm going to be doing a Q&A that I posted on my Facebook a couple days ago. A bunch of you asked me some pretty cool questions, so I will be going to that as well. So, first of all, the Tough Enough season finale. Let me just say before I even get into the finale that, in my opinion, Mata should have won. He got kicked off, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago now, or 4 weeks ago, something like that. To me, he is, or was, the man to beat. He has a great look. He's got a great physique. He's got those crazy eyes that he does. He's got good work ethic. He's got great discipline as far as the dieting and the gym schedule is concerned. But again, as I said, he has a great look, good physique, tall guy, real tall guy, 6'4", I think he was. I don't remember his weight, 260 maybe, something like that, 265. But he was just a tall dude. He had that blonde mohawk. He just looked mean. He looked the part. I do think that he will be eventually in WWE and NXT. So, I have faith that he'll be there. I just think that he should have... Well, he'll be there eventually, but I just think he should have won in the first place. But, enough about him. He's not on there anymore. I want to talk about the finale. So, first of all, before I get into the actual show itself and the final 4, which was Josh, ZZ, Sarah Lee, and Amanda... I know a bunch of people saw this Sunday, I think it was, where Tanner, who got kicked off last week, posted a picture of Tough Enough ZZ outside of a Burger King, and he posted the picture with a caption that said something like to the effect of, like, "Hey America, at least ZZ is tough enough for Burger King," or he's showing you his love for you by supporting Burger King, or something to the effect of ZZ is at Burger King while other guys are in the gym. I think that was like the whole gist of it. I don't remember the actual caption, but I kind of wanted to mention that because I think it was it was just a shitty thing to do for the simple fact that Tanner's gone. So this came off super bitter, super bitchy, super pissy, very childish and immature. It's like, hey, I got kicked off, so I'm going to post a picture that makes him look bad, because if I can't win, then I don't want him to win either. That's how it came off to me, and it was a really shitty thing to do. Personally, Tanner's opinion is completely irrelevant to me because he's no longer on the show. So I was kind of more concerned with what people thought that were actually on the show, whose input currently actually means something. Tanner's does not. So that was just stupid. But another issue I had with that picture was the fact that Tanner kind of posted it and then wrote whatever he wrote in the context of, as I said, ZZ is eating Burger King, other people aren't. He's eating fattening food, other guys are in the gym and or dieting. But my problem with it was, picture a Burger King, okay? So you've got the building itself, you've got a sidewalk outside the building which surrounds the entire building, acts as the entrance, obviously. Separates the building itself from the parking lot. So you've got that. Then you've got the entire parking lot. Then you've got the curb, the side of the road or whatever, where the road actually meets the sidewalk. So from, say you're standing where the street and the sidewalk meet outside the building, you've got maybe, 300 yards, maybe 200 yards from the street to the actual front door of the restaurant. The picture that Tanner posted showed ZZ standing at the street area, the street outside the parking lot. So and his back was turned. So I don't know if he even knew that he was being photographed or whatever, but he's not in the Burger King in the picture. B, I don't know where he was going. The picture could have been anything. He could have showed a Planned Parenthood clinic with ZZ standing in front of it. That doesn't mean he was going there. And also this picture happened or was posted like a week or so, 5 or 6 days after Tanner was actually kicked off Tough Enough. So it came off as very desperate as well. Almost like he searched for something that he could have, gave ZZ a zinger with for like this 5 or 6 days, and he finally found something. Otherwise, just if you're gonna bitch and moan about it, just do it right away. Why wait? But anyway, so my point was, basically, we don't see him in there. We see him facing the building. That's it. That doesn't mean anything to me. It literally means nothing. And even if he was going in there, what business is it of mine or of the public's or of Tanner, like why he's in there? Last I checked, which was, a couple days ago, Burger King actually sells grilled chicken, salad, water, and they have men's rooms in there. How do we know that ZZ wasn't in there for one of those reasons? We don't. And I'm assuming whether Tanner actually did know or not, he's gonna post this picture to make ZZ look bad. Again, bitchy move, immature, stupid. But, people are obviously gonna draw their own conclusions. But just looking at the picture itself really shows me nothing. He could have been outside of a Dairy Queen, and that still doesn't tell me that he was eating ice cream the whole weekend. Literally doesn't tell me anything. But while we're on the topic of ZZ, I think he was not necessarily set up to fail, but if you watched all 9 weeks previous to tonight, and then you saw tonight's finale, I think ZZ was great for most of the shows up until tonight. He obviously there's issues and there's drawbacks with him. His diet, his look is not terrific. His body's not great. But I think personally, and this is, I'm no stick figure myself. I mean, ZZ looks a bit bigger than me, but in the belly department at least. But I still have a opinion in the way of, I think there's a lot of guys obviously on TV right now that are bodies. There's a lot of guys that are gym rats, giant musclehead guys, and that's the look of a professional wrestler, and I completely understand that. But I think at the same time, not everyone that wrestles needs to look like they were chiseled out of granite. I was a big fan of Trevor Murdoch for the same reason, and Dusty Rhodes back in the day for the same reason. These are guys who were not, I couldn't find one ab between the two of them, but you put them on TV with no shirt on, they don't have a good body, which to me means they have a great body, because it's different. Because there are so many guys on TV that look like Finn Balor, that look like Triple H, who else? Chris Masters, Dave Bautista, The Rock, guys that look like that with that kind of physique and that kind of build are, not necessarily a dime a dozen, but there's so many of them that it's almost like looking at the same body with a different head for each match. So when you put someone out there like a ZZ or like a Kevin Steen or like I said, a Dusty Rhodes or a Trevor Murdoch that does not have an ab nowhere in sight, but they can still go, with the exception of ZZ, as we don't know if he can go really. I think because they don't have a great body means they have a great body. Again, because it's different. So, but as it pertains to ZZ, we only saw him they only gave him 2 or 3 minutes of match time tonight. And for the finale, the two guys, Josh and ZZ, wrestled Cesaro, a.k.a. Claudio Castagnoli, and the two girls wrestled Alicia Fox. So, how did they do? I think ZZ did really well in his match with Cesaro. I think surprisingly well, based on the last 9 weeks. There's some stuff he just wasn't getting, but I think he did surprisingly well. He definitely stepped up his game. He still, got to work on that body and work on that look. But I like the whole the crocodile hunter gimmick, or the crocodile wrestler, I should say. I wasn't into his entrance outfit where he came out with like a real crocodile skin, it looked like, and like the head was on his head, like a headdress, and like almost as a cape, it looked like he had like the actual body and the skin. It was pretty freaking gruesome. In fact, when they talked to the judges afterwards, Paige was like, "You just pissed off all the animal lovers with that weird outfit you walked out with." But I think if you judge the two matches that ZZ had with Cesaro and the one that Josh had with Cesaro, if you judge just based on that, I think it was way obvious that Josh was winning this thing. He's got a look, he's got height, he's got a great body, he had good in-ring skill, and a lot of people said he already looks like a star, which I can understand that. Let me just get off track for 1 second, because I guarantee there's some of you listening right now that are thinking, well, Joe, you never were in WWE, so what the hell do you know about, what's good or what they want or what they look for and blah, blah, blah. And you're right. You're absolutely correct. I've never been there, so how do I know? Well, I don't, and I didn't claim to know. These are simply my opinions. So, I'm not getting annoyed here. I'm just saying I guarantee that there's people that are thinking that. Just because it's a very common question, a very common opinion, and I understand that. I have no delusions about my career. Making it to WWE, or I should say, not even making it, I should say, being hired by WWE, working in WWE and FCW, in NXT, on Raw, SmackDown, whatever, those were not goals of mine to begin with. So the fact that I was never there is not insulting to me. It's not a big deal if people say, well, you were never there, so what do you think? Or I'm sorry, you were never there, so why does what you think matter? Because there are people that say that, and again, you're justified in saying that, but again, these are just my opinions based on my 15 years in the professional wrestling business. And another thing that a lot of people seem to say is that when people like myself or whoever say, well, wrestling for WWE wasn't really my goal. My goal was to work here, or my goal was to work there. A lot of people say, and this is like such a common response to that statement, that, they were not my goal. And people have said this to me over the last 15 years, 65 million times. When I say, my goal wasn't necessarily to wrestle in WWE, my goal was to wrestle for the NWA, or for ECW, or my goals were this. People say, oh, you're full of shit. So if WWE called you and offered you $1 million, you wouldn't do it. A lot of people say that, and that's a lot of people's response. That's like almost one of the most common responses. Hey, my goal was not necessarily to work for WWE. Oh, that's bullshit. You're full of shit. So if they called you, you wouldn't go do it. I didn't say that. That's a completely different issue. And I think people really need to understand that. Because the same people that are quote unquote smart to the business, when they say ignorant stuff like that, it really proves that they don't know anything. And there's a lot of people, that claim they're smart and don't know anything. For example, The Undertaker, quote unquote, collapsed on the way back to the dressing room after SummerSlam on Sunday night. And even the people especially the ones on Twitter that claim to be smart to the business or claim to be insiders, are questioning whether that was legit or not. Whether that was a quote unquote shoot or a work. Let me give you my quick opinion on that. The Undertaker's quote unquote collapse happened in front of the fans, where the crowd could see it, where he knew the crowd, because of how big of a star he is and how important he is to the company, he knew the crowd and the fans would be watching every single step of his until he got backstage where they could no longer see him. Where he also knew that there were cameras on him at all times. And B, he knew when people saw that they were going to be talking about it. Then he's seen again later on that night going to a restaurant with his wife, and he's fine. He comes down to the lobby, goes outside, goes next door, walks into a restaurant, no problem. And again, these people that claim to be quote-unquote smart are still questioning whether or not that collapse was legitimate or not. Well, let's see. I think with the facts I just pointed out, it's 1,000% obvious that it was just part of the show. And the fact that these quote-unquote smart people are still questioning that, whether it was in fact part of the show or if it was a legitimate collapse due to some real injury, just shows that they're actually not smart to the business, or not as smart as they claim to be. So, people just need to relax, watch the show, enjoy it. You don't need to go on social media and say, that was real, that was fake, I know this is, legit, I know that was work. Just watch it and enjoy it. Don't try to overanalyze every single little thing, because people just do that constantly, and it ruins it for other people, and you're ruining it for yourself. I mean, if you don't love the shows anymore, and if you don't even, if you don't want to watch the show in suspense or suspend your disbelief, then why even bother watching? It's a show, it's entertainment. All right? No, there's no real reason, no good reason, I should say, to overanalyze every little thing you see. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent there, and I don't mean to do that. But let me just say, back to the ZZ and Josh thing. I was saying how Josh is a good look and blah, blah, blah. The only thing I can't stand about Josh is that stupid Yeti yell thing, that whatever the hell it is. The Chewbacca yell also is what it sounds like to me. But I wish he would not do it, because it's annoying and it doesn't sound good, and it sounds like Chewbacca. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the gimmick, I guess, or the character. And the outfit he wore. Like Miz said, your outfit sucked. So I was okay with Miz saying that. I wasn't a big fan. Now, I know Chris Jericho said it was supposed to be like some kind of a character from Game of Thrones, Jon Snow or something like that. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I do have it, and I need to watch it. I've been told to watch it, but I haven't in a while at all. So I watched the first 3 episodes last year. It didn't grab me. So I'll give it another chance. But anyway, that didn't really resonate with me because I don't know the character. So I think you need to have some kind of gimmick or character that can relate to all the fans that are watching you. Now, granted, I'm one person, so I understand the fact that maybe one person not reaching you is going to be not a big deal. But I just didn't get the character. I also think I don't think ZZ was necessarily set up to fail, like intentionally. But once, as I said before, once you watched the 4 matches of these guys, there's no doubt that Josh was going to win on the guys' side, and there was no doubt that Sarah Lee was going to win on the ladies' side. after all those matches, the winners were just obvious. I don't know what the viewers saw in Sarah Lee. I don't think she should have won. I don't think she's ready. I don't think she's good. However, like I said, compared her match with Alicia Fox compared to Amanda's match with Alicia Fox, if it was only based on the matches, I would say yes, Sarah Lee should have won. However, in-ring is such a small, or in-ring skill and moves, I should say, is such a small and minute part of what it takes to be a superstar. I don't think, what was her name? Sarah. I don't think Sarah has everything else that it took, or that it takes, I should say. I don't think she has any charisma. This is stuff that's been said on the show for weeks, and I think it's obvious. I don't think she has charisma. I don't know if, like, did she grow up on a farm, or is her gimmick a farmer? Because she came out in just blue jean shorts and a flannel top that just looked like a quote-unquote farmer's daughter look to me. However, she's never mentioned living on a farm or growing up on a farm or anything like that, so I'm not sure what the outfit had to do with the gimmick, because I don't think it had anything to do with it at all. One more quick thing I didn't like about Sarah Lee was the name that her ring name she chose was Hope, and she said that's because the town she lives in is called Hope. So, and as I said with the Yeti thing, you really got to be original and creative. That's another term. I mean, I've seen some really shitty and seen and heard of some really shitty and uncreative, unoriginal names on the independents, but these people are competing in WWE. All right, so just you know what? How about my name is just where I live? Oh, that's original. That's creative. It's very creative. No, not at all. I mean, at least Amanda, she came out with and I don't think this was last week, but I think it was a couple of weeks ago where they were discussing names, and I thought Amanda said her middle name was Rose. So when she came out with the name Mandy Rose, okay, I know two girls named Amanda. Both of them go by the nickname of Mandy, and Rose is her middle name, so she's using her real name. The Hope thing was just like, hey, I live in Hope, so my name will be Hope. I don't know. So does that mean my wrestling name should have been Atlantic or Atlantic City, or should I have been New Jersey? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Another thing I didn't like about Sarah, I mean, I feel like I'm beating this girl up here. But these, again, just my opinions. You know, as I said earlier, I have not worked for WWE. I do not currently work for WWE. So the people that say, well, what do you know? You know, you've never been there, so you don't know what they're looking for. Okay, that's fine. These are just my opinions based on my 15 years in wrestling and based on what happened on tonight's episode only. Another thing I didn't like was her promo before the match. And I'm not saying what she said was bad. I'm saying that I think the delivery and the tone were just terrible. Like, I'm going to prove the naysayers and haters wrong. And tonight, Alicia Fox will be a stepping stone to what's going to be Hope's career. Like, that line specifically, tonight, Alicia Fox will be a stepping stone to what's going to be Hope's career, was said very, very monotone. It was said too fast, so the crowd didn't really have a chance to digest the specific point of tonight, Alicia Fox will be a stepping stone. Pause. Let the crowd hear it, react, give it a second or two, and then in what will be the future of Hope's career, or in what will be Hope's career, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. But I didn't think it came off well. I thought it was it was too monotone, it was too bland, it was too boring. And if you noticed, it was not at all aggressive. She's still doing the smiling thing. Every time a camera is on her, she's smiling and giggling and laughing. It's like Booker T said. She takes nothing seriously. What the smile told me is that she's just kidding. You know? Like, I go up to my buddy one day and I'm like, oh, hey, man, I'm going to kick your ass. And then, you know, that's it. and then we giggle about it a second later, and we shake hands. I'm just playing, man. How are you? That's how it came off to me. She's saying, Alicia Fox is going to be a stepping stone to what will be the start of Hope's career. But there's no aggression in that at all. It was very giggly, and she said it with a smile. She put the camera, or gave the camera back to whoever with a huge smile on her face, which to me said, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna do nothing. I'm not aggressive at all." I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I don't think she's ready. Amanda, on the other hand, I think lacks some in-ring skill, which I think was obvious tonight. In the same way that watching the matches of ZZ and Josh against Cesaro, I think watching Amanda and Sarah's matches against Alicia Fox it made it equally as obvious who was going to win if you just based it on the matches. It was obvious that Sarah was going to win. She did a really, really good job in her match. Same thing with Josh, did a really good job. Amanda, I thought, was sloppy in the ring. Needs to tighten up some stuff. But overall, I think she has everything else it takes. Not necessarily in the ring talent, but outside of the ring. She's got charisma. She's got looks. She's absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, people have been saying that since The Miz saved her the 1 week and said, "Oh, I saved her because she was hot." She's been getting a lot of shit since then. I think that's the reason why she hasn't been as popular the past few weeks, ever since that happened, that she didn't win tonight. But people don't take into effect that Sarah Lee is not ugly either. She's not bad looking at all. She's beautiful also. She just doesn't flaunt it. And I think that is why I think why Amanda is a natural heel, because she flaunts it. And another thing, I mentioned Sarah Lee's gear to me. I didn't understand what that was. Because your gear and how you physically look in your wrestling gear is just as much a part of your character as your actual character, as the character itself without the gear. So Amanda, at least I understand, she's coming out there and she's saying, "Hey, I'm hot. I look good. Look at me. Look at my tits." She's got her chest all pushed up or puffed out or whatever. And then she gets in the ring and she says something to The Miz about she's going to shake her ass, and she shakes her ass. So your attention is drawn to her tits and her ass. And her tits look great, her ass is beautiful. So I understand why she wore what she wore. She wore very tight clothing, obviously to show off her curves, and it makes sense. I didn't understand the jean shorts and the flannel shirt thing that Sarah Lee wore. And again, to bring up Trevor Murdoch, that's what she was dressed like, what Trevor Murdoch used to wear. But so I think Amanda definitely should have won. All the judges agreed, by the way. And I think that she will be in WWE eventually. I mean, shit, her and ZZ are gone now. They could be hired tomorrow. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I think that definitely it was quite obvious that Sarah and Josh were going to win. I don't necessarily agree with the Sarah choice, but I do agree with the Josh choice. I think Amanda, I know she lives in New York somewhere. So, I mean, all she's got to do is hit up like NYWC, or, if she's somewhere near, I guess upstate, she could do like UWA, or even talk to like Mark Krieger, that area up in Rochester. So if she is, not in contact with WWE about maybe getting in NXT and training down there, then there's plenty of choices for her in the area that she lives in. Same thing with ZZ. If he's not in NXT within the next few months and he's just kind of, hanging out, maybe going to wrestling school or whatever, I think there's plenty of choices for him as well. I think both of them will be in WWE within at least 2 years, if they're not, anytime soon. ZZ may have a lot more to work on, body-wise, but, I mean, Josh showed it could be done if ZZ puts his heart into it, so... And he just needs discipline, I think. But anyway, just, make a short story long. I definitely disagree with the women's winner, but I agree with the guys' winner. I just, overall, I got to apologize. I just don't think Sarah's ready. She really, really needs to stop smiling. And it's like I said, it's not even the fact that she just said, like, my opponent will become a stepping stone. It's Alicia Fox, who I'm not a giant fan of hers, but she's been there for so long, almost 10 years now. She's someone that is so well established that you don't just go to the ring and say, well, she's going to be a stepping stone for what's going to be the beginning of Hope's career. Like, it was just so monotone and so non-aggressive, just so passive, like, hey, okay, yeah, we're going to wrestle, yeah. There was just nothing behind it. There needs to be aggression. There needs to be some conviction. She needs to sound like she believes she can kick Alicia Fox's ass. And there is no way in her tone of voice that showed me that she could do that, or that she believes she could do that. So I'm just not a big Sarah guy. I never have been. I've been saying this from the beginning of Tough Enough that she's simply not ready. I don't think she belongs there. And I don't think that she will be ready anytime soon. I think she'll be, what I really think will happen to her is I think she'll be in NXT for the whole year that the guaranteed contract is for, and then they'll just, quietly get rid of her like they did with Andy. When Andy won the last Tough Enough, he did the one thing on Raw, like the one night or whatever, when he got the stunner when they chose the winner, and then he did a promo with CM Punk either later that night or the week after, where actually, it wasn't even a promo with CM Punk. He was just in the room when Punk walked in and said, "You won Tough Enough?" And he just said, "Yeah." And then, he did the NXT thing again, or it may have still been FCW at the time. I don't even remember. And then they got rid of him. So, I mean, it was like, that's kind of what I expect to happen with this Sarah chick. She'll be there for the year, and then they'll get rid of her. I just really don't think that she's ready, and I still think that Nada, in fact, I mean, I will be so bold as to say that we may see Mada on TV, on NXT TV, before we see Sarah, and Sarah won. So I still think that Mada should be there. He's, again, great look. Just the look, the mohawk thing is really good. So basically that's Tough Enough. That's my thoughts. I mean, I guess if anybody has any questions about anything I've said or anything I think, go ahead and shoot me an email, joeyimage@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter @joeyimage or facebook.com/realjoeyimage. I know I said earlier I was going to do a Q&A, and I am, but I'm going to hold off on that until either tomorrow or the following day, only because this is already going on 32 minutes, and it's been much longer than I would like. So I'm going to let you off right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, anything you want to complain about or tell me I'm a fucking idiot or tell me I'm wrong about, whatever, please feel free to go ahead and do that. I'm always up for a good debate. Just remember, if you've got literally, if you've got no experience, and I've got 15 years, then I've already got 15 years ahead of you. I'm just breaking balls. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Please keep in touch. Have a great night.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, believe this. This is Chris Robinson of the Black Crows, and I used to weigh 92 pounds. I was a cow, man. Then I got on the Slim Crash diet. Now I'm a deathly grim 48 pounds. It's great. The Slim Crash diet is so easy. I have a deep breath for breakfast, a deep breath for lunch, and a sensible Marlboro cigarette for dinner. The Slim Crash diet is fast, and look, no more shoving my fingers down my throat like they'd fit.
Slim Crash, the official diet of anorexic-looking rock bands like the Black Crows.
From the makers of the Keith Richards Nutra Heroin Diet, abuse as directed.